Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. How are you doing tonight? Um, I'm asking that fully aware that it might be a loaded question given everything that has transpired since Monday. And if you were here on Monday's class, I was talking, and I didn't even know what was going to transpire throughout the week, but I was talking about how it's been quite a ride for us in 2020, and it seemed like a really good time to center back into our hearts. Little did I know exactly how relevant it would still be by Thursday, which is now even more relevant, I think, to connect back to our hearts tonight. So, make sure you have your things ready. If you have your blanket, make sure you have your blanket around. And if not, go and run and get it right now. And then make sure that you have your pillows. We're going to need our pillows tonight. And of course, the block, bolster, or books. So tonight's going to be a really gentle class by way of the body. But we're going to find some depth in terms of traversing through the mind, as there may be things going through your mind right now with everything that's happened this week, with the fatigue of maybe feeling like COVID has dragged on forever, and once again being thrown into a state of square one. I talked about square one a couple of times. It's not much of a yoga thing as it is a coaching thing. And if you resonate, take it. And if not, then maybe you're not in square one, in which case, once you identify what stage of the transformation you're in, then you can take the appropriate actions. But square one, this is the first phase of transformation according to Martha Beck's change cycle. The change cycle is a process that teaches you basically every single step that we go through in any state of change or any state of transformation that we experience as human beings. Square one is essentially the crumbling of everything around us. So life as you know it will never be the same. And it can happen for different pockets of your life being in this part of transformation. And when you're in square one, it could very much feel like as if the world around you is crumbling, or the way something that's normal to you, maybe the way that you perceive something, or the way that oh the mic is cutting out. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, how about that? Or you know what? It's gonna look maybe a little bit dorky, but how about this? Okay, thank you so much. Hopefully this does a little bit better. I think it is the sweater because it's oh, I know. You know what I usually do? Oh no, it's too far away. I usually clip it to my workout top, and then it's a bit sturdier. But hopefully this works. So, anyways, square one is when the world crumbles around you. Something that you perceive as normal is no longer normal, and there is an incident where you just cannot undo, unsee, or unhear. And this could mean anything from falling in love to, let's say, changing careers. Okay, much better for audio. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you mentioned it at the beginning. Anyways, if you feel like somehow, some way you've been thrown back into square one, then the best thing to do in square one is to just let the dust settle and be gentle with yourself. And this may mean that you need to cocoon. This may mean that you need to take time to process, and it may definitely means that you need to take time to rest, which is why I'm so glad, especially if you're in square one, that you're here tonight. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and get a little bit of movement out, especially if there's any restless energy around. So, with your hands in tabletop position, your feet in tabletop position, go ahead and shift into your cat cows. Inhale, tailbone to the sky, gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, round your back. Move a little slower than you'd like. Nice. Inhale, tailbone to the sky and gaze up to the ceiling. Just noticing how your body's feeling today. And exhale, round your back. Couple more times. And tonight, only if you're inclined to, you might even come into a little bit of a free flow, shifting in any direction that feels good to you. If there's anything that seems a little choked up, a little restless, make sure that you give it some movement. Everything is energy in motion. I'm borrowing that from a well known phrase that emotions are energy in motion. Truly, everything is. So when you bring movement into your body, you're, in a sense, moving the things that no longer serve, shifting the things that no longer serve. Eventually come into a child's pose position, big toes together, knees as wide as your mat, forehead down toward your mat. And deep inhale. And exhale. Just let it go. Let yourself sink in. Feeling good. Long, deep inhale. And exhale. And then inhale, rise all the way back up to tabletop position. And let's get the other half of us. So we got our hips just now. Let's get into our chest, our heart space. Hands reach toward the top of the mat distance apart, or maybe even a little bit outside the mat. Your hands can be turned out slightly. And there's going to be this tendency to pull back to get your sit bones to try to meet your heels, but keep your hip in line with your knees for this one. What moves is your heart. So allow your chest to come all the way down onto the mat. This might be a bit intense for the shoulder as well. If it is intense for the shoulder, then fold one hand in to begin with. Land on your forehead or either cheek. And if you have one hand folded, fold the opposite in. Change hands. Inhale. Rise all the way back up. Nice. Come into a seated position. And let's just do a couple of side flows. Right hand plants down onto the ground. And inhale, left arm up and overhead. Inhale, reach up, rise up. Nice. The right hand comes over top. Left hand plants down onto the ground. And just flow just like this. Reach up, rise up a couple more times. And as you shift into more of a flowing movement, notice your breath following. Notice a lengthening in your breath as you take these mindful movements. And eventually, the next time that you plant that right hand back down, come all the way up toward the top, interlace all 5 fingers, flip them up toward the ceiling, and exhale, reach forward, draw your belly button into your spine. Reach forward, opening up your neck and your shoulder area. Inhale, rise all the way back up. And exhale, gently allow your hands to come down onto your knees. I'll give you some space here for some free flow. You might feel good here, just settling into stillness. Or you might find yourself wanting to do a gentle twist. Maybe there's a twist that still wants to kind of move through you. Maybe a couple of neck rolls or some side to sides. Explore where you are today in your body to begin with. My body wants one more twist. And then settle into your Sukhasana. As per usual, you always have the option to stretch your legs out in front of you instead, especially if your knees are injured or sore. Okay, and as you sit here, just notice the flow of your breath. Nice. Nothing needs to change it. Just notice how you're breathing. Are you breathing? That in itself can be a telltale sign of what's going on with us. internally. It always starts with our internal world. When we have lack of awareness on the inside and what's going on with us, we behave in reactive ways. We can feel easily overwhelmed, inundated, stressed, anxious. And that's not to say that you can't feel that way, even if you do have a handle of what's going on internally. But it feels more helpless because then you don't know. You forget that you have all the power to make a change just within yourself. And if you haven't fully arrived yet, give yourself permission to fully arrive. Let's do a final settling in with one big releasing breath. A long, deep inhale through your nose, taking an extra sip of air here. Hold it for an extra second. And a sigh of relief out through your mouth, letting go of all that does not serve you. Anything that feels heavy. Interactions, instances, memories. And just stating to yourself in your mind's eye, maybe putting a hand over your heart if that helps. I'm here now. I'm here now. Dropping in your whole self, your full self. Feel how substantial that feels when all of you has been collected and is present all in the same space. And let's go deep together. In yoga, we often refer to difficult emotions, hard things to deal with as the dark places, just an all encompassing word. The thing is, often it's easier to avoid the dark places, or it's almost instinctive, protective, survival even, to avoid the dark places that may be lurking within us. Yet, it is only through shining light on the dark places, acknowledging these places, that gives it release, that frees it from being dark in the first place. So tonight, we'll have several opportunities, not just to rest, and we are going to move into deep rest, but also to shine light on these dark places. And so place a hand on your heart here. Let's just see, let's just do a check in. Where are you today? Where are you? No, not today. Where are you right now? How are you feeling? Yeah, soften the edges of your eyes. And keep a sense of softness throughout your whole face. And whatever is arising, just let it pass through. Sometimes it even helps to say it out loud. Perhaps today you feel tired, maybe just done. There might be a feeling of being at a loss or anger, frustration, overwhelm. And let these come up. Can you let these come up without judging them? Just simply acknowledging Can you accept them? Allowing them to grow big as it wants. Following the one that's tugging on your heart sleeve the hardest. That's the one that's seeking to be seen, that's seeking to be accepted the most. So follow that emotion. For example, if sometimes if anger arises, some people might feel it expanding in their heart and like almost like fizzing up through their head, and it expands through their head. And just watch what happens, whatever it is that's coming up for you. Yeah. Interestingly enough, you don't try to shove it back down or sweep it under the carpet, or otherwise either blast through it, like, yeah, I know I feel that, okay, we're done, or to avoid it. Just let it get big. Gets uncomfortable for a little while, but then it just dissipates. It's so cool because this works for any aches in your bodies as well. When you give it the attention, you let it be seen and heard, which is what we all want, even our emotions, even our pain. It can then have permission and release to move through. Slow. And gently flutter your eyes open. And let's move into rest. Okay, let's build our little contraption to lie back on. 2 blocks, or if you've got your bolster, a bolster, or actually 2 blocks, you'll need it anyways, or books, and then pillows or bolsters go over top of the books. So the one furthest away from you is at the tall setting, and the one that's closer to you is either on medium or on low. Your choice if you'd like to use 1 or 2 pillows for this posture. I think I might do 2 pillows today. There we go. Make sure your structure is stable and that it can support you. This might be a good time. Bring everything out, everything that's going to feel good. To bring out your blankets, your eye pillows. If you've got fuzzy socks, put those fuzzy socks on. All right, and whenever you're ready, your sacrum comes close to your pillow, and go ahead, lie all the way back, allow yourself to be supported, and you choose where you'd like to have your feet, whether they be bent with the soles of your feet on the ground, in butterfly position. And if you're in butterfly, we're going to be here for a little while, so I do suggest for you to put 2 blocks or books underneath your legs so that you don't overextend your hips. Or you can just have your legs straight out in front of you. And same with your hands. Decide what is going to feel the best for where your arms are tonight. Right wide out beside you, maybe on your belly. And wherever you are, take one releasing breath here. A long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, sigh it out through your mouth. Nice, letting go. Letting go of what does not serve, of worries, anxieties, or rumination. Knowing that the most powerful thing for you to do, for you to be, is to be present, is a sense of presence. Because when you are present and fully aware of where you are in the here and now, you allow yourself an opportunity to drop in to that ever present sense of stillness, clarity, and peace. And when we act, make choices from this sense of ever present stillness, clarity, and peace, that is when we're being truly effective. And that is when we're acting from a place of alignment, living from a place of alignment. Just settle in. Long breaths. Is there anywhere in your body that's still gripping, that feels like it still needs to be working? And if there is, then make any necessary adjustments that you need. You always have permission to make adjustments as needed so that you're even more comfortable, so that you can be even more effortless. This place to rest that you're creating for yourself, the sheer fact that you're on your mat tonight, is an act of compassion towards yourself. This is where you connect to the very heart of who you are. When you stay connected, it doesn't feel so much like as if you're being dragged around like an old rag by the external world, left and right and up and down and round and round and round and round, right? It doesn't feel so much like as if you're being dragged around. Don't feel so overwhelmed or exasperated. When you connect back to the truth of who you really are, there's this nourishment, there's this energy, life, aliveness that you tune back into. Oh, yeah, stillness, peace, clarity. Soften even more. Become even more effortless, allowing yourself to be supported by your blocks, bolsters, and pillows underneath you. Allow yourself to be here and comfortable with your blankets and your socks and your eye masks, eye pillow. and you meet yourself with kindness. You meet yourself without judgment. And just rest. At this point, if you need to change the position of your arms or your legs, you're absolutely free to do so. And let's take 10 breaths. Inhale for 1. Exhale for 2. Slow, slow. Inhale for 3. Fill up your heart and your lungs. Exhale for 4, completely emptying every single bit of stale air out through your lungs. Nice. Inhale 5. All the way up to 10. If you're in butterfly pose, use your hands to gently draw your knees back together. Nice, the soles of your feet on the ground. Wherever you are, land with the soles of your feet on the ground and just gently arise. Or gently rise up. I don't think rise would be the correct word here. Okay. And you're just shifting ever so slightly. Blocks come off toward the sides. And your choice, 1 or 2 pillows lie, maybe I'll just use one for this, it vertically on your mat. And I'll start with my left hip so that I can face you. Left hip comes toward the bottom of the pillow. Nice. Both knees point toward the right-hand side of the mat. And just lower yourself all the way down onto the mat. Left cheek on the pillow. And if you want a deeper twist, this is a supported, a restorative twist. If you want a deeper twist than this, then perhaps you turn your right cheek onto the pillow instead. And that's going to bring you deeper into the twist. Nice. You can play around, as I suppose I'm doing tonight, choosing 1 or 2 pillows on either side of the cheek that you want to be on. And once you find your place, then settle in, becoming once again effortless. And let's move a little bit deeper into those dark places. Notice what's coming up for you now. Once again, just like we did at the beginning, maybe saying them out loud or in your mind's eye. And is there still remnants of anything difficult or seemingly difficult to work through? Overwhelm, confusion, or fear? choose the one that's calling out to you. And just like you did at the very beginning, in this place of comfort, let it know that it is safe to expand. Allow it to expand, getting as big as it wants and just following its trail. Now let's go a little bit further with it. Can you get curious about it and investigate it a little bit without judgment? Just noticing if what's arising has a message for you. Just being curious. Oh, where it came from. What does it need? What is it afraid of? And finally, hold it a little bit. Show it compassion and be gentle with it. Almost like as if it were a little creature, a scared or angry or worried or overwhelmed little creature. And tell it a message that's going to help it feel safer. It's going to help it rest. Perhaps it's just a simple act of empathy. I know it's hard. It's okay that it's hard. Perhaps it just simply needs to know that you're there for it. In which case, then tell it, I'm here for you. I've got you. You can lean on me. Whatever comfort that this emotion is needing, this little creature, or you can think of it as, is needing, let it give it that comfort. Okay. Slowly, much slower than you want. Use your hands to help you all the way back up, and just enough so that you can switch to the other side. So right hip faces the bottom edge of your pillow, and your right cheek or your left, if you want a deeper twist, comes down onto your little support here. Blanket if you as you wish, socks as you wish. Nice, settling in. Sink in, sink down. And settle into the comfort of being held, of holding, the comfort or even the freedom or relief of knowing that you have full permission here to be effortless, to sink in, a place to rest your heart. Long, deep inhale. Long, full and complete exhale. And then gently use your hands slower than you want, much slower than you want. Bring yourself back up into a seated position. You're going to want to have your blocks or bolsters or pillows along with you as we come into a gentle forward fold. So draw your legs out into a nice wide V. Use your hands or remove the fleshy parts of your sit bones away from you. So if you've been in my in-person classes, I've talked about this before. It's my favorite description. Some yoga teachers refer to it as suntanning your pelvis. So if you find that you're suntanning your pelvis, such as this, then use a blanket to prop you up so that you get a little bit more leverage when you fold forward. So once again, take your time. There's no rush at all to create any adjustments that you need. You can place a blanket underneath your sit bone. And where your blocks come into place is maybe this is all you need. You just need your 2 blocks or a couple of books, and then you can go ahead, fold forward, and allow your forehead to rest down on these blocks. If you want a little bit more support, that's where you might take a pillow, place it right over top of the blocks. And so it's almost that kind of same holding sensation when you were in your twist. Take your time, play around with it. Notice what feels best for you. Your toes are ever so slightly, not too effortfully, pointing upward. Allow your arms to hang heavy by your sides. And again, checking that nothing is straining too much. If anything is straining too much, as in you're finding yourself shaking or being anything less than relaxed and anything less than feeling good, then shift. And gently, ever so gently, allow yourself to rise all the way back up, nice and slow. And gently use your hands to bring a bend into your knees. Come into Sukhasana once again. We're going to be here for a few minutes. So if those knees are sore, stretch them out instead. Find yourself in a supported position. And if it feels like so much effort just to sit up like this, then go ahead, lean against a wall, feeling as good as possible. Okay. And whenever you're ready, close your eyes. We're actually going to go and work our brains. More so, we're giving our brains a massage. And as we go through this brain massage, we'll call it, you'll notice that you'll sink into a deeper state of rest. You may even find yourself nodding off. If you're nodding off, that's actually a really great sign because it means that you've come into the more restful state of brain waves, which is the alpha brain waves. But we're not just aiming for alpha brain waves, we are aiming to synchronize them so that rather than walking into, let's say, a busy shopping mall with everyone kind of all over the place and they're still leisurely moseying about, we're walking into a shopping mall where I lost that word. You know when they used to do those dance things, anyways, where everyone is synchronized and it's like as if there's a waltz going on around everyone in the mall and everyone is just in harmony with each other. That's what we're trying to do with this brain massage. Okay. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears and back. Notice the space between your eyes. Can you notice the distance between your eyes? Can you notice the space in front of your forehead? Can you notice the space all around your head? Entire circumference of your head. And can you notice the space surrounding your ears? Can you feel the space around your nostrils? The space in your nostrils? Can you notice the space around your lips? Your bottom lip, top lip. Can you feel the space between your top lip and your nostrils? And can you feel the space on either side of your neck from your earlobes down to your shoulders? Can you sense that space? Sense the space from your earlobes down to your shoulders and all around your neck. Can you feel the space, the outsides of your shoulders, right on the edge? Can you feel the space in front of your throat? How about the space from your chin down towards your heart? And can you feel your heart space? Feel the distance of your heart from one shoulder to the other. And you sense the space that your heart takes up. Not just your literal heart, but the energy of your heart. How far out does it go? And you sense this energy extending 360 degrees around you into the space of the room. Can you imagine the space around your arms, your biceps and your forearms? Space that just hovers outside of it. The space in between your armpits. You feel the space in between your fingers. And you feel the sensation of your fingertips. And imagine the space within your fingers. Each cell traveling along your bloodstream with an ample amount of space in between each of them. And can you imagine the space around your rib cage and your back? You feel the space around your belly. Space around your hips. And you feel the space around your legs. And the inside of your legs. And that little air pocket of space right between your knees and your upper thigh. Can you feel that space? The space around your feet. Can you imagine the space that you're taking up right now when you're in the room that you're in? Space that you're taking up in relation to the room that you're in. And you sense the space that's all around you. And you sense your heart space once again from one shoulder to the other. Notice the space that it takes up, not just your literal heart, but the energy of your heart surrounding you 360 degrees. Can you imagine this energy extending even beyond your body into the room that you're in, 360 degrees, into the space of the room that you're in? Extending beyond that into the entire space of your house, 360 degrees. Energy of your heart. And as you expand, you begin to notice the power, the true power that's within you. You allow the power of your heart to blast out. Imagine the space beyond your home. And the space beyond your city. The space beyond this earth. Further, 360 degrees. Imagine that space beyond the sky, the cosmos, the universe, beyond all of that. If you can do so with your eyes closed, all the better. Slowly begin to make your way into Shavasana. Moving slow, eyes closed if you can. I'll just half peek so that I can half see. A pillow underneath your knees if you'd like some support for your low back. An eye pillow over your eyes for comfort. A pillow over your a blanket over your body for warmth. And wherever you are, find yourself in Shavasana eventually. Hands down beside you, palms face the sky, feet out in front of you, flopped out to either which way, shoulder blades nice and flat against the mat. One releasing breath, a long deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, sigh. And now that we've given you a deep brain massage, rest here in this restorative state. Rest here and reconnect back to your heart center. Come back and remember who you really are. Can you allow yourself to believe in that ever-present sense of stillness, peace, and clarity within? And as your eyes drift to the back of your head and your head into the mat, and as you soften a little more your whole body from the crown of your head all the way to the tips of your toes, Can you sense that place of ever present stillness, peace, and clarity? Take the time to get to know this place within you. To sense what it feels like to be there. And to just rest there in this stillness, peace, and clarity, receiving any messages that it has for you. Take your time here. Be completely effortless. And trust that I'll bring you back when it's time. Allow your next breath to be deeper than the last. And awaken ever so slightly, just enough so that you can comprehend my voice. And here is where I leave you with an option. If you can, I strongly recommend for you to just be here in Shavasana for as long as you can. If you do have other things to attend to this evening, then begin to fully reawaken so that you can slowly, slower than you want, way slower than you want, begin to shift back out of Shavasana. Don't do anything just yet. Just simply make the choice. And if you wish to sink back into Shavasana, you can do so now. If you're about to get up, do so very slowly. And it is in this transition that I'm going to leave you for this class and say, Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. The light in me certainly senses and recognizes the light in you. Namaste.